Hi everyone, today I'm going to talk about why it's good to study HY102 world history. This is especially true for students who live in the Pacific. HY102 world history is not about learning dates and trying to remember them. It is about how learning the world become the way it's today. We can see this by looking at how different countries and people have interacted with each other over time. This has happened through things like people moving to lands and taking over, trading with each other, fighting wars, and people fighting back against those in power. Studying HY102 world history helps us understand how things that happened a time ago are still affecting us today. It helps us see how the past is still shaping the world we live and the thing that's happening in the world today with HY102 world history.
What I think is really about HY102 the world history is that does not just focus on Europe or the big powerful nations. HY102 world history also talk about Africa and Asia and the Pacific. So we do not just see each country as being on its own. We learn how something that happens in one part of the world can affect it. HY102 world history and other places too.
The HY102 world history course is about events that happen everywhere in the world and how they impacted people. Some of the topics we cover are colonialism and empire expansion, global trade network and migration, people fighting against colonial rule, the Cold War and how it's affected the whole world, countries become independent and free from colonial rule. I think what's really cool about HY102 world history is that it doesn't just focus on Europe or powerful countries. HY102 world history also talk about how Africa, Asia, and the Pacific. This shows this shows how everything in world history is connected. So we don't see each country as being on its own. We learn how something that happened in one part of the world can affect HY102 world history and other places too, and how it all fits together with course HY102 world history. A strong example from the course is World War in the Pacific. During World War II in the Pacific became a place for fighting between Japan and the United States. Places like Fiji, Papua New Guinea, and the Solomon Islands were really affected by the war. For example, the Pacific Islands were used as bases for the military and for getting supplies. Many people who live in this place asked to leave their home. New roads and airfields were built so they could be used for the war. Many people from the Pacific Island had to work or fight in the war. The war made a lot of changes that lasted for a time. After World War II, the United States and other countries had control over the Pacific Island, which changed the way the government worked and how safe the area was even after the war was over. This shows that big conflicts like World War II were not something that happened far away. They really changed the way people live in the Pacific Island. The Pacific Island and the people who lived there were really affected by World War II.
In conclusion, HY102 is the world history course is really important. It helps us understand how big events around the world have shaped our world today here in the Pacific. The course is not about memorizing facts. It actually shows how different countries and people and events are all linked. For example, looking at the World War II in the Pacific, we can see that the big global conflict had an lasting impact on our islands and our people's lives. Studying history is really important for our identity and our future. It helps us understand who we are. History also helps us see how we fit into the world. So, history is very important for our identity and our future. Thank you.